back. This is the Zim video. This is part 31 of my rideshare experience videos. I'm an artist and musician from Seattle, Washington, named the Zim, and I'm currently living in San Diego, and I use Lyft as my primary source of income. And to start off, I just wanted to give a couple shout outs, a couple thanks again. A couple YouTubers, quite a few YouTubers that have been joining the conversation. I'm going to do this until it gets overwhelming and I can't do it anymore. But Ryan Vu, John Ecker, Paul S., Geramo77, Julie Salanders. I'm sorry if I missed any of those, but thanks for joining the conversation, adding your comments and thoughts and things. And I wanted to mention as well, it's been pretty darn awesome for me how cordial, I guess is a good way to put it, the conversation has been. We all seem to want the best for each other, which is awesome. It's really fun to have a good conversation regarding the things that I'm sharing and the things that you want to share based on your experience as a rideshare driver. It's been great, so keep it up. I'd love to hear more of your thoughts and ideas and comments about what maybe I inspired something, or you just want to mention something in general, or you want to question for me, or you want me to go into something in particular on one of these videos. Feel free to let me know. Also want to give a shout out to a couple new drivers that have used my referral code. I'll talk more about the referral code at the end of this video, but Robert from San Diego, here in San Diego, thanks a lot for kicking down. And Brendan, my friend, actually from Washington, is in the music scene in Washington. I wanted to share his music. It's Clearly Beloved. There's a picture of maybe an album cover or something, but you should go check out, I'll link up below his Bandcamp page or whatever, something to find his music. So if you want to discover some new music from Washington, it's one of my favorite bands in Seattle, the Seattle area. So they're kind of eclectic sound, have this I want to say European, I don't know, Celtic sound, as well as its rock sound, and really theatrical, very different than what you're probably used to and what comes out of the Northwest music community as well. So check it out if you like. Alright, so also wanted to mention, thanks again, same idea, I think it's part 19 of this video series I'm making, is the one that I talked about how to make $1,000 or more on Lyft. Has been just getting 100 views a day for the last while, and I'm sure it'll level out at some time, but it just keeps on getting more views, which is pretty rad. Unfortunately for me, it's not creating more views for the rest of the series, and people just, because I'm pretty confident the number one thing we all want to know about with this job is how much can you make, or how much do you make, or the money part of it. What's the money part? And of course, as you saw, the title of this video is, what did I put? How much can you make, or how much do you make? I think I wrote, how much do you make driving for Lyft? How much do you make driving for Lyft is what I chose. It was either how much do or how much can. I think I went with how much do you make driving for Lyft, because obviously that's the important thing that people want to know about. So I want more views on my videos. I want more people to see what I'm creating. And as you know, we'll get into this in a moment. That's my one point. So from here on out, I go how much I made this week. Every week I do how much I made. So all these videos, I put in how much I made. I'll do a little breakdown about it, and then I go into my star rating thing, just talk about what's going on with the star ratings. And then this particular week, I only pick one major topic to talk about, and this week it's how much do you make, and I'm going to go from the beginning of when I started till now and kind of do a breakdown of how much you make. So let's get started. This is how much I made this week. Let's see, where is my writing? $808.51 was deposited into my account. There's $3 more in my heads-up display because I got $3 in tips. My heads-up display is just some things that are kind of relevant, star rating, how many rides I've gone on, and things like that. So you can check it out there. So that's what's going on. The biggest thing to mention about this slide is just that tips have been really bad for the last few weeks. I don't know what's up. People are not tipping in San Diego this week. Let's get into the daily breakdown right there. So that's what I made every day, and Friday was my best day with $38.52. I put in a long day, and overall, I was managed to get $808 with less than 50 hours of work, which is pretty good. Even though I worked, as you see, I worked all 7 days of the week. because I knew my week was going to be weird. As you see, there's like big gaps of time all over the place. Monday and Tuesday I just worked from 5 on because I wanted to hit the prime times and then get some rides after that. Wednesday I put in a full day. Thursday I picked up my kids in the afternoon and didn't work for most of the day. I think I might have started back up after they went to bed or during bedtime. And then Friday I worked I was like, hit it hard, worked a long day, did really well on Friday. Saturday I ended up going to LA. I went to LA in the morning and to do something around 10 a.m. and then around 2 o'clock in the afternoon I drove in LA from 2 till about 6 or so and got 6 or so rides in. And then on my way home at night, on my way home at night, I did the what's it called, destination mode, and ended up getting 4 rides on my way home, which was great because it took the edge off Sunday for getting those peak time rides. So that was awesome. Let me talk more about. Let's go into the last slide of the hourly breakdown and talk more about the LA day. So on Saturday, as you see, it only has the blue on Saturday during when I drove from around 2 to 6. It turns out, I guess, I started in destination mode and drove for a while, starting at like 9 o'clock till about midnight, was in destination mode, making my way back to San Diego, and picking up rides, it just kind of extended the amount of time it took, but it didn't record any of the hours that I drove in destination mode, so that was kind of interesting. I mean, it counted them toward my ride count and counted them toward my total hours for the week, but it didn't mark them on this chart here. So just something it's interesting to be aware of, I guess. I might contact Lyft and tell them what's going on with that if they're interested in knowing. So that's kind of what's going on with what I made this week. If you want to hear any more about it, one thing I did want to mention about the LA thing, just a quick thing, I'm planning on doing, I'll probably end up driving more in LA just to get more experience, just because life will happen that way, I'm sure of it. But what I did notice was they're right, from my little bit of experience so far, they're right, that it just takes a long time to get places in LA, even with or without traffic. The way the traffic grid is set up, there's like not a lot of left turn signals, so you're always waiting to turn left. There's things like that. It's just a slow process getting from one part of the town to the other. Traffic, just the web of the traffic grid itself is pretty intense. So we'll test that as time goes on, if I do more rides in LA, to see if that trend continues. You do make less per ride, like the short rides, like in San Diego, your short rides are, the customer get charged $4. The customer was getting charged like $3.44 and things in that range. So it's like you do make less per ride for the minimum rides and stuff. So it's interesting there, but I guess overall you can do a lot better because the map itself, and depending on your area, you see all the pink blocks and stuff telling you where people need rides and things. The map is a lot more pink a lot more often, at least on Saturday it was. So it's just a lot. It's just a lot of people in LA. So anyways, let's roll on. This is going to be probably a long video again. Star rating. Let's scroll through the star rating. So I started off the week at a 4.9 app rating, and then within a couple of days made my way back up to a 5.0 app rating, and I managed to maintain my 5.0 app rating most of the week, which was cool for me. I love it. So I was like in the 4.95, 4.96, I think was the highest I got. And one thing I noticed for holding on to an app rating for a good portion of the week, the comment I got pretty regular from my passengers in the car was, well, let's see what it's like to have a 5.0 rated driver, something of that effect. Like people would mention like, oh, so it makes me believe that there's not a lot of drivers out there that have a 5.0 app rating, because of how many people mentioned it. So that's interesting to me. Of course I love to hold on to that 5.0 app rating, but we know passengers are fickle, so who knows where I'll end up. I think right now I'm at 4.95, just right at that cutoff of the 5.0 app rating. Another thing, I did get an unfriendly flag again, I guess, and so it's still hanging out in there, but so that's what, hopefully everything's scrolled by now. It was more, there's more, yeah, I'll just make sure that it's all done by now. So let's get into what I wanted to talk about this week. How much do you make driving for Lyft? And what I did, so here we go. There's a chart, it's pretty small, you can pause it, maybe look at it on your computer if you want. This is every week. I drove, since I started in February up till this week, how much I made. I rounded to the closest whole number, and then how many hours it took to make it, and I also rounded to the closest half hour. So that's the chart there, and here's some, just, I'm going to leave that chart up for a sec. So it's $22,935 what I made, because that chart, within that chart there was 1 week that I returned the express drive car, and they returned my deposit, which went into my deposit. You know, I returned the deposit for the car that went into my deposit into my bank. So I subtracted $250 from the total amount to be a little more accurate. So here's some numbers. I'm gonna go to the next screen. I'll just put up here is some specifics. So for the whole time that I've been working, my per app hour amount is $13.80. That's been how much my hourly per app hour pay has been. My per week is $717. That's how much I'm averaging per week. My hours per week I've been putting in, my average hours per week is 52 hours per week. And my average per ride amount is $7.03. So I will say this, I'm going to do this again with how much I've done in the Express Drive program itself, but this is a reminder, this does not count any extra expenses like insurance if you need to pay it, maintenance if you need to pay it, gas if you need to pay it, just what else? There's any other thing that comes, taxes. This is just the amount that I'm getting deposited. So it's after, you know, doesn't count ride payments. It counts what I got deposited in my account, because I think that's the most important number to consider. Ride payments doesn't matter because Lyft will take their cut and all that stuff. So it's like, this is like tips. This is what I made in tips and what Lyft pays me after they take their cut in terms of what I got deposited. This doesn't count cash tips, which is interesting because for me, cash tips I'm leaving aside. I just don't even deposit it. I'm putting them in a separate bank. I don't use them for anything. I'm putting them in a piggy bank essentially. So they're kind of they don't exist yet for me in a way. I don't even touch them. When I make cash tips, I just put them aside and don't touch it, and I'm saving up to buy a guitar, actually, is what I'm saving up for. So that caught you up with that. So I think that stuff is still there. So then my total, as you saw probably in the last one that started, my total rides, and my heads up display, my total rides at this moment is 3,259 rides. So that's what I divided there. So now, since May 1st, so since I'm in the Express Drive program, so this is everything I made, and I think it gives a good look at the arc of the possibility. Like when I first started in February up till May, there was all this there was times when I couldn't work because of my car was funky. So you know my weekly pay would be lower, but also my hourly, the hours I spent driving would be lower too. So it all kind of works out in a way. But now, ever since May 1st, I've been using the Express Drive program. So I'm going to do the same thing. Here's the chart again for, since May 1st till today, this week, the whole chart, so you can see that again. But then here's the breakdowns again. So the total amount I made during the span that was deposited was $15,753. And then the breakdown of that is, so it turns out to be $14.60 per app hour. I didn't write down how many app hours total it was. Maybe it'll be on the screen even though I didn't say it. Total app hours I did. So then how much I made per week. So when in the Express Drive program, my pay per app hour went up a little bit since May 1st. So, and then my per week pay was $787. I'm rounding to the closest whole number. $787 per week, and then it averaged to 54 hours per week for app hours, and then so my average ride payment actually went down to, because my average hours went up, my ride payment per ride went down to $6.79 per ride during that span. So that's what happened. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions about how much you can make based on my experience. So things to remember, again, I'll just restate it. I didn't account, this is what you make. This doesn't account for gas payments you need to make. It doesn't account for taxes, doesn't account for any car maintenance, doesn't account for anything extra. This is just like, you put in the rides, you got a deposit, I divided up the numbers, or I did. I did the rides, I got the money, I divided it up to show you per, situations like that. So that's what's going on there. Yeah, any questions regarding it, feel free to hit me up, comment about it. Hopefully it was clear. Hopefully it gives you an idea of like, oh, okay, that's an average. And then also, remember your area, depending on where, I drive in San Diego. If you drive in LA, if you drive in Chicago, if you drive wherever you may drive, in Seattle, it'll adjust slightly, but Lyft also adjusts. They look at it, they're trying to keep it somewhat even, it seems, because obviously you go to LA, there's more rides to have, it sounds like. So they lower the amount you make on each ride. And they try to keep it somewhat even, but from what I've seen as well, even though there's just so many more rides in LA that you can make better money quicker if you just if you dedicate the hours. I mean, you gotta obviously 54 hours per week is what I'm averaging right now. Could make it all happen, and that's app hours. And remind you, that's not. And so to add another fucking 10 hours to that, and that'll be like what I devote to the job every week. So I'm looking at 60 hours a week per average, or so, something or whatever, So it's not for, as I commented this on somebody's post. They commented in one of the videos, which is that this job is not for the faint of heart. It's like the money's there, but you got to be willing to work for it. So any questions you have, comments, hit me up. Let me know. If you found this video because you want to become a driver, use my referral code ZIM200, and we both make a little extra money. Anywhere you are, just put it in, and you'll find out what your bonus is. It's a per ride bonus right now they're doing, up to an amount they decide in that area, depending on, usually the more money it is, usually means they need more drivers in that area, so they're trying to incentivize people to drive in your areas. So consider that, hit me up, we'll make it happen. And then if you found this and you happen to just curious about what Lyft is all about and you want to be a passenger, I didn't need to snap there, but same for referral code, and you can get a discount on your first couple rides, and I make a few bucks, I guess. I haven't had any passenger referrals yet, so there's that. What else? I guess that's it. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll catch up with you again next time I make one of these. Peace. Oh, if you like it, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends. Share this on your user groups. If you think this is of value, any one of these videos I made, go back and share them to the different user groups in your areas on Facebook. Just share them out to Twitter to say, hey, this guy's got some good points or whatever. I'd love for you to do that for me to help me keep getting more subscribers and all that stuff. I love doing these. It's fun. So, alright, I hope you enjoy. Peace.